government actually represents the interests of the corporate cronies. So that is why they are so hesitant on backtracking or going back on these three acts. However, in the last, from November 26th onwards, the struggle has been going ahead with great resilience from the side of the farmers. And despite all kinds of anti-campaign conspiracy theories about them being supported by the Khalistanis or Naxal groups or supported by China and Pakistan, still, even after more than 600 farmers have become martyrs in the struggle due to the extreme cold and the extreme heat conditions, still people are coming in bigger numbers. So that shows that the farmers have come ready for the long haul. They know that this government is not going to work for their benefit. It will have to be forced to repeal these acts. And for that, they are willing to strengthen this struggle, not just around the Delhi borders, but also in all parts of the country. Actually, you see, the rural areas of our country have been the worst hit due to the COVID crisis. Often the crisis in the urban areas gets amplified. It is occupies space in the media and so on. But you see how the manifestation of this crisis in the rural areas is what we saw with the floating bodies in the Ganga and also on the banks of the Ganga, that the bodies that were cremated on the banks of the Ganga. That is something which shows how deep the crisis has been hit the rural poor, the peasantry, the rural workers and the agriculture labor. But this government has not done anything to help them. Organizations of the farmers, agriculture labor, rural working class, all have been demanding some kind of compensation, income support and so on, but nothing of that sort has happened. So that is one thing. But despite this, farmers are carrying on with the protest. Why is it so? When you speak to them, then they say that these acts are actually the death knell for agriculture in our country. So it is not just the question of their own incomes and their own livelihoods being snatched, but it is also the question of their futures. Their children and grandchildren and their futures are also affected by this. That is very clearly understood by the farmers. They have understood that these acts are only for the corporate profiteering and it is nothing to do with the benefit of the country or the people of our country. So they see it. You see, often when they are speaking, they speak about a second freedom struggle. The magnitude of this struggle is also taking shape in that way. You are finding the working class coming out, the oppressed sections, the Adivasi, Dalits coming out, students, youth and women coming out. So it is actually taking the shape of a true people's struggle. It is no longer a farmer's struggle. It has turned into a people's movement. Actually, I think the biggest strength of the Samyukt Kisan Morcha is that with the experience of the last 7 years of struggle, where we have built an issue-based unity, here again it is an issue-based unity. You have more than 500 organizations. Some are very small, some only to restricted to some villages, some to districts, some having a spread across the country. So, but despite the differences on many other issues, they are united on the fact that these three acts have to be repealed, a legal guarantee for minimum support price at least 50% more than the cost of production, and the withdrawal of the Electricity Act amendments. So that is what is keeping this movement united. The other issues which may not have a consensus, that we have set aside. In the course of struggles, we have found that many of these organizations or the Samyukt Kisan Morcha has also taken up other issues. For instance, the solidarity expressed to the working class struggles. This is something which we never saw in our country, except maybe the left Kisan organizations, which used to take part in the protests of the working class. Most other organizations were not taking it that way. But now there is a coordinated action beginning from November 26th. And now we are going in for a wider campaign in all the states, and in between different actions have been taken up. All have seen that there is a united and also a well coordinated action by the working class and the Samyukt Kisan Morcha. That is again a unique feature of this struggle. Another strength of this movement is, despite all efforts by the government to spread canards, to try and divide the farmers' movement after the January 26th incident and so on, still the farmers have remained united and they have stuck to the demand which they have been raising from day one. In what direction this will go? Will this government be coming out to try and repeal these acts? Or see, we need not be having any illusion about this government. Why did they in first place bring the 3 acts when the entire farming community, the working class were under an extreme crisis, under lockdown and due to the pandemic? It is very clearly to help the corporate cronies and to profiteer. That is why in this struggle you find Adanis and Ambanis have become the symbols of actually the anger of the farming community. There are, especially in the states like Punjab, Haryana, the products of Ambanis and Adanis are being boycotted. Even other parts of the country, we are now trying to intensify that struggle. There is a total boycott of Jio products and Adani products. The toll booths have been all opened. It's free movement of vehicles in Haryana, Punjab, in parts of UP, in Rajasthan and so on. This is a new kind of a movement which is also now turning against the corporate profiteering and corporate loot of the resources of this country. Because the Samyukt Kisan Morcha, this struggle which has started in 2020, if you go back to 1991, a good number of these organizations were also having an illusion that the neoliberal economic policies will bring better days for the farmers. It is the organizations like the All India Kisan Sabha, which in 92 itself, when the new agriculture policy came up, we came with our alternative agriculture policy. And we pointed out that these policies are going to lead to an extreme crisis. So even now, even in case these 3 acts are repealed, still the policies, the paradigm is the same. Neoliberal paradigm is continuing. So the struggle is not over even if these acts are repealed. That is only a step forward. And here in the present day, this struggle is being described as the longest and the biggest struggle in recent history of peasant movement anywhere in the world. So it is also sending an inspiring message. We are finding solidarity actions across the world in support of this movement that is going on here. It has created a hope among all movements that this present government and the neoliberal paradigm that it pursues can be resisted, not just resisted, can be defeated, and an alternative can be made possible. Big section of the media, whom we say corporate media, or in the north they say call them the Godi media, that is a media which is actually in the lap of the ruling government. So that is what we are seeing today. And like Noam Chomsky and others have mentioned, this media controlled by the corporate companies or corporate bosses, they actually try to manufacture consent for the present regime, the neoliberal paradigm, and the promoting the interests of the ruling classes. So that is what we are seeing here also. The same kind, when some international celebrities have supported the struggle here, immediately there has been a high-pitched campaign of don't touch India, or this is our internal matter, and so on. But these very people, when incidents happen outside the country, then immediately they want to show themselves as being in solidarity with the people outside. It is a hypocritical stance that they are taking. Today, because of the alternative media, there are different ways in which we are able to take our message to the people, and that has in a big way been able to resist this kind of a farcical attempt to actually promote the interests of the ruling establishment. So that is, I think, why they are even more upset with the whole thing. Their entire campaign, it is almost a 24/7 campaign, and it could be entirely filled with lies. There is nothing stops them from again and again repeating the same set of lies. Despite that, you are finding that each day farmers are still coming. The uniqueness of this struggle, if you see, whenever there has been some climatic, for instance, storm or damages caused by that, you have immediately had people coming up in support. These campaigns have not led to people withdrawing from supporting this movement. The entire canard spread after January 26th. Despite that, you are having more and more people. We all know how when a set of RSS people attacked the struggle site, how lakhs and lakhs of farmers started moving from different parts of North India to the struggle sites. Many Mahapanchayats were held. Another unique feature is the issue of communal harmony. The government and the media have been trying to actually divide the people on different lines. That also is understood by the leadership of the Samyukt Kisan Morcha, and they have very effectively been able to counter all such propaganda. So that is, I think, already the corporate media has faced defeat at the hands of this united struggle. Actually, in Uttar Pradesh, many of the Mahapanchayats, there has been some kind of a pledge that has been taken. This was last apparently this kind during the 1857 First War of Independence or the Great Revolt. During that time, the Hindus and Muslims of these regions had come out to take such a pledge. And some of these regions are regions which earlier witnessed communal strife. And in those regions, them coming together is something which is very heartening. Similarly, we have in parts of Haryana how the different castes, usually there is a caste oppression is something which is rampant in a large part of our country, how the need to give up caste oppression and have a united fight against these policies is being emphasized, putting forward the teachings of people like Baba Saheb Ambedkar and asking people to learn more about the teachings of social reformers of our country. See, in the last 7 years, when Narendra Modi took over in 2014, there was a lot of hype that for another 20 years, it would be the BJP and also they will usher in a Hindu Rashtra. But in just 7 years period, we find that that dream of the fascist forces is being challenged in a big way by the farmers and the working class of our country. Now the unity that we have been able to build between the farmers and agriculture labor organizations and coordination and unity with the working class organizations, that is being expanded. We are having meetings in all the states. We are going to touch thousands and thousands of villages and towns in this campaign. And this is going to lead to an atmosphere against the anti-people policies pursued by the BJP government. We will also use this opportunity to put forward, posit a pro-people alternative and try to rally around the masses in favor of that. And I am confident that this struggle is going to be the Waterloo for the BJP and the Sangh Parivar politics in our country, and it will usher in an alternative politics.